going to be blinging. Hold on, let me change my camera, my microphone. There we go. All right, so tonight we will be blinging here on the Baby's Booty channel. Now, before I get into anything whatsoever, I need to let you know that there is a really big storm. We got a severe storm warning, and the last few storms that we've had here have been pretty jacked up, and it's been storming off and on for the past couple of weeks, ever since we had the tornado down through here. And y'all, I just don't understand what in the whole wide world. But yesterday, Saturday, we had a bad storm come through. No, it wasn't yesterday. It was Friday night over into Saturday morning. We had a really bad storm here. It wasn't tornado that I know of, but the thunder woke me up out of my sleep late Friday night. And then somewhere over in after I woke up and the thunder was like super booming and stuff, I heard a crack, kind of like it put me in the mind of maybe a tree limb breaking or something like that. And it startled me so bad that I was literally laying there waiting on a tree limb to hit the house, because that's just how loud it was. And nothing hit the house, fortunately. But in this area, a lot of trees did fall and hit houses in the city where I live. And so, I was stressed out about it a little bit, but as I woke up Saturday and went throughout the day, well, went to go visit my neighbor, y'all, I looked at my back door and I'm like, yo, what the heck did y'all do to the fence? The storm blew the fence over, y'all. Look, it pulled the fence up out the ground. Just no, the posts weren't super deep in the ground, but it knocked the whole flipping fence out the ground. That could have been the crack I heard. I don't know. All I know, it was super loud. And I was like, OMG. So tonight, they're calling for more severe storms, and they're not far away. I'm starting to hear the thunder. So, saying all that to say, if we do lose power again, because with the tornado, we lost power for about 3 days. Friday night into Saturday, it flickered. It didn't go out, but it did flicker. Fortunately, I'm on battery backup down here for the computer, and I have battery backup for the internet, but you never know. So I just wanted to let you guys know that if it does get the rumbling and it's pretty bad and we lose power, I'll catch y'all on the flip side. And I also have my phone going. See, I just got an alert from Amazon talking about the storm. I didn't know Amazon would alert us now. Ain't that crazy? So I do have my phone hooked up as well. So even if this part goes out before I can properly say bye, hopefully my phone will still be on. But Miss Margot, let me make sure that's who that was. Yes, Miss Margot, thank you so much for the super chat. I am looking for my bell. Oh, here it is. Thank you so much for the super chat. Y'all funny. Yes. Thank you so very much for the support of our channel. And Regina, welcome back from the hospital. I am glad you are on the mend. So tonight, I want to say welcome. Thank you to you all who have chosen to join us this evening. There's been a lot going on this week. It's been a super busy week for crafting. So if you have seen any of the videos that we have floating around, or pictures rather, not videos, but pictures, we did the applique with Patrice and Delonda Saturday night. I wasn't on with them, but I was doing applique in the background. Several bling shirts, and it's just been a lot of craftiness. So thank you all for sharing all of your super awesome crafts with us in our Facebook group. We definitely appreciate it. So tonight we are going to discuss some of the problems that you may be having with your rhinestone blinging projects. See if we can't help you out with some solutions. It came to mind because tonight we were doing blinging with Delonda in a Zoom, and some of the group of ladies who were totally awesome were blinging, and a couple of them had questions. Like, say, for instance, you set down your rhinestone tape to pick up your stones and stones shift. What do you do then? All right, so we're going to cover quite a few of those tonight. I was going to cover some things with the embroidery machine. If I have time, then I will. But a lot of it is going to depend on this storm. So if I sound like I'm rushing, then that's why, because I really don't want to be. That storm was really bad Friday night. It was like, I am not the type to be afraid of thunder. I'm very respectful of lightning. Y'all know I'm a big weatherhead. I love weather and anomalies, I think is the word. But I'm very respectful of weather. But as loud as that thunder was the other night, I was like, I I didn't want to get swept away. What is a video we used to watch and say, don't get swept away by the winds of Satan? I just knew we was about to get swept away. Regina, thank you so much for the super chat. Holla. Yes, honey. Yes. And Miss Renee says she had fun. She did her first bling item. Thank you so very much for joining us. And I really appreciate um Delonda inviting us in with that. That was super awesome. She didn't have to invite us to come in and hang out. So that was totally awesome. Um Gosh, Delonda said it was an awesome, awesome time. So I want to really quick show the rhinestone designs for the rhinestone mechanic, because it's starting to rumble even more. That's crazy. I'm going to keep on running with it. And I want to show these because the designs that he had for the last week are still on sale. He left them on sale for you guys so that you would have them. But I also want to point out something else with a couple of the designs for those who are new to blinging. Okay. So give me one moment. Let me pull this right on up. So this is the Rhinestone Mechanic. This is his website. And he offers a set amount of designs for a special price for 48 hours during the show. So if you were to go over there to the link in the description and click it and get the designs for the week, they're on sale, $5 a design for the next 48 hours, where the ones for last week are still on sale as well. But this particular design is not $5, it's 10. But check this out. This design has 3 different sizes, a small, medium, and a large, all in one design. And it's an eagle head mascot. Super dope. So if you are an Eagles fan, this is not the official Eagles mascot, but it is an eagle. Hello. So you could theoretically make this to go with your Eagles design possibly. And then we have a list of other designs. And then in the mystery box, there are 2 designs there that you don't know what they are, but they are definitely worth more than $2. So definitely check this out and go and grab your designs from the Rhinestone Mechanic. And like I said, they are this week and last week are on sale for the next 48 hours. Okay. So I am trying to get some budgeting stuff done in the background, and that's what that was all about. But at any rate, so you guys, thank you for coming to hang out. Really quick, while you are here in the chat, I want to know if you do rhinestoning, whether it's SS10 or SS6, doesn't matter with this particular question. But if you do rhinestoning, what is the main problem that you have that you wish you could snap your fingers and it would go away? What would that problem be? All right. Let us know in the chat. So, just gifted. I am good. How are you, DV? Welcome. Crafting with Delonda. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Miss Gail Designs is a YouTube Hoop Group member. Thank you so very much. And Nicole Reeves, welcome. Thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member as well. Porgy, thank you for joining us and for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Dennis Cheatham in the house, welcome. Chris Hayden, welcome. And thank you for getting your designs. We also have Jessie Gibson. Hey, honey, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Mama Vi, hey, honey, welcome. And thank you for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. We got Stacy Collins in the house, DB in the house, Nicole Reeves, welcome. And thank you very much for being a YouTube Hoop Group member. Making with Marilyn in the house. Hey, honey, welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Who Group member as well. Hi, Sheila Cushionberry. Our awesome Sheila is in the house. Welcome. Thank you for hanging out with us. Diane Wilson, welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. Miss JB, welcome. EJ's daughter, welcome. And the both of you, thank you for being YouTube Who Group members. I appreciate it. Spilling the diversity. Congratulations, Spilling the diversity, on opening your new baby and getting it started. I know it was kind of frustrating for you. Hopefully we'll get around to being able to share some tips and tricks. If not, then I will do a video. I probably need to do a video instead though, now that I think about it. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times when you're troubleshooting and you're trying to understand the different facets of troubleshooting, it's a lot more complicated than troubleshooting rhinestones. So we may want to do a separate video on that, but if I have time, I will go over some things. Okay, not that I know everything, but just some things that helped me along the way when I first started out with my machine. Let's see, we have Miss Nene Designs, welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Who Group member as well. Sharon Davenport, did I say hey? I don't know. Welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Who Group member. Hey, Unbiased LLC, welcome. I hope you made it home safe and are done with all the festivities. That was so cool to see you on your way to your trip. That was cool. Thanks for letting us ride along. Karen D, welcome and thank you for being a YouTube Who Group member. And Picture Me Crafting, welcome and thank you as well for being a YouTube Who Group member. I appreciate you. Deborah Garrett, welcome. Thank you for hanging out with us. Dee Dee, welcome. And thank you for hanging out with us. Meredith Schaefer, welcome. And thank you for being a YouTube Who Group member as well. Brandy Good Sight, welcome. Thank you for hanging out with us. I'm glad you had a blast with us. We also have Stacy Collins, welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. Let's see, Faye Norman, welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. And we're going to say hi to Craftable Things. Hey, honey, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I really appreciate it. And thank you for being a YouTube Group member as well. So I'm going to go ahead. I know I probably missed some folks who came in, and I apologize. We did start in the middle of all of the comments, but I want to try and grab hold to some folks and see if we couldn't say hi ahead of time. So let me see if we got some questions. Let's do this actually. Let's go ahead and scroll. Brandy Goodsight says when stones shift and pressed on top of each other. That's a good one. So let's go ahead and we're going to switch over to the cutting table. And then what we'll do at the cutting table is we will show what you can do whenever stones shift and are pressed on top of each other. So give me a moment. Let me switch my microphone as well. And then I'll also go to star some comments so that I don't miss any comments, hopefully. All right, so let's see. Microphone, just switch to this one. All right. So, and then we'll also add, let me get my headset turned on so I don't echo. Hopefully that worked. Did that work? Yes, it worked. Okay. So we're going to do this right here. Boom. And then we're going to do this right here. And y'all, so whoops, this is the shirt that we did tonight in the Zoom. I did this one and I also did this one. They both turned out super gorge. So hopefully next time we have a event, you guys can join us, hopefully. All right. So really quick, whenever you have stones that are pressed on top of each other, one of the things to keep in mind that helps you with applying the stones is heat, right? So heat is what you would use to add the stones. So likewise, what you would do is you would use the same thing to take the stone off. Okay, so you would put it back in the heat, and then once you heat it back up on the heat press, then you can pull the stone off. Now, I will say this, and please forgive the craziness that is going on behind me. I've been remodeling in here for I don't know how long, and yeah, it's a trip. Oh, okay, that's something different. Oh, thank you, Sheila Cushionberry. I love how you select your colors. Thank you, Dr. Monique. We'll talk about that as well. Let me see. Okay, so sometimes it cut and sometimes it doesn't. It drives me crazy. Think a new cutter. I have the Cricut 2 and Maker, so I'm gonna start that comment so that we can come back to that. Here's another really good one. I get a little nervous when lining up the ombre designs. Stones seem to want to get stacked up on one another. I try to make it line up, but phew, it gets touchy. Yes, yes, they can. Laying two colors in the same design. So we will see if we can. I'm going to, because I do hear the storm get closer, I'm going to use a smaller template. Let me see. Do I have both pieces of this one? Doesn't look like it. No, I don't. Let's see if I have both pieces of this one. And we'll stack something. I don't have both pieces of this one either. In the whole wide world. So with the ombre designs, yes, stacking them can be arduous if you're not actually there's a couple of reasons why stacking the ombre designs can be a problem. Placing the tape on the stones without shifting. Get looking most of the time, but it's the larger designs that I have trouble with. I think I get so nervous. So we start that one as well. Okay, let me see. Start that one. Picking up the stones with the transfer tape. Okay, so shifting stones. Another shifting stones. Okay. Let's see. 2 cutting machines, 1 for vinyl and 1 for block. Yeah. That's where the Romeo or the Juliet comes in, because you can put your settings and just at the touch of a couple of buttons switch it, which you technically can do that with Cricut and stuff too. You just have to make sure that your settings are what they need to be. Sharon Davenport, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. Yes, honey. Yes. Thank you so very much for that. Again, shifting stones with the tape. That tape is a trip, ain't it? And then here's one, pricing. Okay, so the tape is apparently it. Okay, Dr. Monique. All right, so let's get into this tape. So one of the things that I would definitely recommend first off, before we get into the shifting part of it, let's talk about transfer tape. So let's make this a little bit bigger. Vanessa Bradfield is a YouTube member. Yes, honey. Thank you for becoming a member of our channel. Hi. Yes, honey. Yes. Thank you so very much. So this is our Hotfix transfer tape that we sell. I do already have some pieces that are already cut, so I'm going to show those to you. Keep in mind, transfer tape can definitely be reused. You don't have to use one time and then throw it away. They do have multiple uses. You see, this one is kind of wrinkled a little bit, so just be careful when you do go to use it again. Our lovely friend Marilyn had a really good tip when she reuses her transfer tape. When she puts it down, see how mine is wrinkled? She would take a brayer and do a brayer to smooth it out, on the tape so that it has less wrinkles when she goes to use it again. But one of the points that I definitely want to bring out about transfer tape is I'm not sure why it's that way, but transfer tape has a lot of static electricity in it. Okay, so static electricity is an enemy when it comes to working with these rhinestones, because the rhinestones will indeed jump up off of the template to meet that transfer tape if it is positively charged with static electricity. So one of the tips that I like to mention, and one of the things I do for myself as well, is I keep dryer sheets. I have a box of unscented dryer sheets that I keep in our rhinestone room. I also keep it out here because especially SS6 rhinestones especially have a bad habit of being full of static electricity, and they'll jump around on you. So grab you a dryer sheet and just rub the transfer tape before you even go to put it down on your stones, if you notice that you have a problem with those stones jumping back up to that tape. Not everybody has that problem, and I have it every so often. A lot of times when I do have that problem, I'm finding out that it's usually something I'm wearing, like wool or something along those lines, that will generate a lot of static electricity. But like today, I'm just wearing a basic tee. I don't have anything else going on. Of course, the outside weather may have, strike of lightning come through here somewhere and charge up everything. I might be static electric positive then, but definitely keep an eye out on static electricity. It is not your friend. All right. So the other tip that I have for when it comes to laying rather your transfer tape is there's a couple of ways you can manage laying your transfer tape. So I'm trying to see if I had the other part to that template so that we could layer, but of course right now it is eluding me. But with the, I wish I had thought about using that template before we came on the live, and I would have had it right here ready to go. So we're gonna have to go back to being in the blinging era, because that's what we're dealing with right now. So we'll just do bling for right now. If you want to do the ombre, of course, hopefully you guys are doing the two parts separate. So you'll do, like, you know what, let me see if I can't find one, because it's thundering, it's not really thundering. And we can bling and ombre design. Let's see, that's not ombre. That's over here. Now I have stuff everywhere because over there I'm changing things around. I got a new toolbox, so hopefully I can. I think this one is ombre, isn't it? I guess not. Wait a minute, I think this is. Now, oh, it's stuck together. That's why. All right, let's grab these. You got templates all over the place. There we go. I think this is not ombre. It's actually dissected, so to speak. This one is created to create, but it'll work, because even though it's not ombre, it's still one that you would need to make sure that it lines up properly in order for it to work. So we'll work on this while we try to answer other questions as well. With the exception of KTM, every brand I use has static. Now I only use KTM. KTM can have static too. So definitely don't get too surprised if you get some KTM and it has static. Oh, Chris Smith, that's a good tip. She says try cutting small pieces of dryer sheet, especially for those of y'all that do SS6, fam. That's a definite. Try cutting small pieces of dryer sheet, keeping them in the stone containers. It helps keep the static down on the stones themselves. So you definitely could look into doing that. Hey, kitty and doggy. I also rub my brush with the dryer sheet as well. Let's see. Oh, that's what Sheila said as well. You rub the inside lids of your stone to keep them from sticking. So that's what's up. And also, while you're here, definitely let me know if you have any tips that you use for lining up your ombre and your rhinestone designs. This is also definitely a craftable things question because she does so well with her ombres. And with her ombres, oh, that's a good one, Delonda. Um, I feel like I waste block because I cut a piece for each color I plan to use instead of trying the tape method. Instead of trying the tape method. Okay. Make sure I'm not missing something. Okay. Sorry. I was scrolling back up. I see the mister is helping me start stuff. Okay. So if Patrice or someone else is in here, but definitely Patrice because she lines up her designs. But another way to line up designs, the only downside I have to doing it this way is you have to like using wax paper. I don't personally use it, but that's because I guess old school isn't the right word to use, but I'm old school and I'll line it up. And if they overline each other, I'm just like, oh well, I'll pull it off later. But you can use a piece of wax paper in between layers prior to putting your transfer tape down because the transfer tape will not stick to wax, which is why you have to be careful when you are using your wax pickup pins to pick up individual stones. You don't want to press too hard on the tops of them because it'll leave wax on the top of the stone. And then your transfer tape won't pick up your stones. So if you do a lot of after work, like what I'm doing now, I'm brushing in the stones. And if after you brush in your stones, you find, that you're doing this a lot where you're going in and you're using your wax pickup pen to pick up stones and put the stones in place. If you notice after doing that, that your tape tends to not pick up all of the stones, kind of take a mental note and see if those stones are the ones that you picked up with your wax pen. Because if so, then you're probably pressing too hard with your wax pen and you're leaving wax on top of your stones. Some people are like, this tape ain't good. It ain't picking up my stones. Or they may think, glue string or something like that. And that's not what it is. It could just be the wax pen because it is definitely a chance to cause a problem. All right. So I'm doing, when it comes to layering, one of the things that will definitely help with your layering is doing the largest layer first to line up your designs with. So that's what I'm doing. This is the outline, which is the largest part. And then we're going to do each subsequent layer after that. Now, this particular, the way this design is, because it's cut and it is kind of like a jewel pattern where, it's cut into different slices and it's not random, but it's not necessarily in any specific order. Um, you start with the biggest part first. All right, so, and then we can try or show you lining up a design with the ombre and with the, hopefully some wax paper maybe. We can try that for a layer and let you see what that could look like. All right, so here's this. Here's this. I was going to say you possibly could even use the back of the transfer tape to line up your design before laying the tape down, but you got to be careful with that too, because the back of the transfer tape could have static on it, so it'll pick up stones out of your, which is also another thing that could happen even with the wax paper. So there's a lot of things you could do, but you got to be careful with whichever one of these you try. Hey, Tammy the bag lady. All right, so let's put these up. Definitely when you're done using a specific color, put the lid back on and put the band back on your container, or if you're using bags, zip your bags back up. Just protect your containers. All right, so here is created, and then it's going to say to, and down here is going to say create, right? So we're going to cut a piece of transfer tape right here. Being careful not to bump the table so you don't knock stones out of place. Sorry for that. A little loud. All right, so again, to be sure, number one, that stones don't jump out all over the place. Check for static. If you're not sure about the static, just rub your sheet a little bit just to kind of help dispel some of the static electricity. And then generally, I kind of hover to make sure that it's big enough. But even if it's not big enough, it's not that big of a deal. You don't have to worry about just leave it a good ways away. But even if you don't pick up all of the stones once you first lay this down, don't worry about it. We got a new, not a new, but we got a trick for that too. But you mentioned rubbing the fingers over the design. Make sure your hands are dry. Just make sure that those fingers are definitely dry. Oily fingers or sweaty fingers will pick up the stones, but I also apply pressure. Like this isn't a barely touch and kind of brush. No, I'm adding pressure and I'm rubbing, full hand over. And sometimes I do knock stones out. I just knock the stone out down at the bottom. But sometimes you will knock a stone out, and that's okay. The whole thing is you're just trying to feel for something that doesn't feel right. And as you continue to do that, you'll be able to feel when stones are out of place. So, well, at least I thought I had knocked the stone out. I guess I didn't. All right, so we're going to do a U shape and then go straight down is usually how I suggest you do it. But I did mention something to someone earlier, and I'm going to do that now to see if I can't get it to work. It works for me sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. Okay. So if you are unsteady with your hands for whatever reason, try and apply, like we looked at it and we saw where it fits, right? And tried really hard not to let that tape touch. If it does, don't panic. Just pick it up, scrape those few stones off of the tape, put them in place on the thing, and do it again. Okay. That's the thing about it. If you are just careful, you might mess up a little section, but it's usually not the whole thing. Okay. So what I also can do is I will take the edge of the tape and put it right at the edge of the template like so, and then come down like this. Sometimes that works really well, sometimes it doesn't. But that's one way to do it if you are unsteady with your hands or a little shaky or you're just not sure. You can do it that way, and that'll also help pick up your stones. But you definitely have to make sure there is no static in this tape in order to do what I just did. You have to make sure there's no static. because when you go down like that, that static will pick the stones up. And you know it don't ever pick up the stones face up. It picks them up with the butt part up, and you just, it's annoying. So that's one way you definitely can try to do it as well. Okay, so let's pick this up. And if you go to pick up and it doesn't get all of the stones, again, remember, sometimes that could be where you picked it up with the wax pen, and sometimes it's not. It's no big deal. Just lay it back down, press it, and there we have our first part of our design. Okay, so here it is. Now, one of the things the girls I've noticed, and I'm going to start recommending as well, turn it over, take a look at it, see, make sure that all of your stones have adequate glue on them, that there's no stones missing glue. And then after that, lay it back down on the back part of the sheet where you just picked it up. What this can do for you is a couple of things. Number one, if you get a phone call, if somebody comes to the door, whatever the case may be, it's on the back of its template. You don't have to worry about nobody dropping anything on it or it shifting or whatever. For the most part, it's here. You can set it off to the side, come back to it later, whatever. That's a good practice to get into when you're blinging. Okay, so here we have the inside of the word created, and then we have some more sections to this bottom part of this word. So I'm going to go with, I had fun with the brass. So let's fool with some brass again. I did these colors on that shirt today, so we're going to do them again because I thought that was super pretty. Okay. So again, also to help keep down static, like I said, you keep your dryer sheet, you rub your brush on there. That'll help keep static. The bone brushes are pretty standard to keep static in them. So keep you a static dryer sheet. And then sometimes when you're working with stones and you're brushing them in and you're having a hard time getting them to stay in the holes and they're the right size, then you could have what I call double stones, where two stones are connected together. Those stones do not help you when you're trying to brush in stones. So I just usually either toss those or try and cut them apart. But it's just, in most instances, easier to just toss them, but you can cut them apart. All right, and so we're gonna put that there. Because I'm sure, as you can imagine, when you gluing millions and millions of little bitty stones, somebody is going to miss some glue. Somebody is going to stick to its partner. It's just bound to happen. All right, and so we're going to do this. Push that into place. I'm going to push this into place. That's part of the reason, too, why I don't run for the wax pen every time. I just kind of like pick them up and put them in the holes as opposed to the wax pen. Yeah, if you put stones in your template, do not, especially if you're new to this, I'm telling you now, do not bump the table. Don't bump the table. Don't let anybody pick up your template. None of that, because it will throw stones from here to kingdom come. And you're going to either laugh about it, be mad about it, or be sad about it. It's going to be one of those three emotions. Very rarely is it like indifferent. So just be super, super careful. If you got pets, sometimes the kitty cat jump up on the table. There's going to be a wrap. Kitty cat's going to knock the stones all over the place. So just be cautious, because these things are temperamental. There's one. There's one. All right, so let's put that there. And just because I'm brushing with my finger doesn't mean I'm going to catch all of them. I'm still going to miss stones sometimes. So It's not an end all be all, but it does definitely help. Hope you get stuff not overlooked. All right, so when we go to layer this one, I'm going to do another piece of tape. Or should I? Should I do another piece of tape? Because I know what you're asking. You're asking about layering on the shirt. So we'll do another piece of tape. And what I'm going to mention is when you're layering on a shirt, sweatshirts, heavy duty t-shirt, heavy t-shirts. So like Gildan has a heavy shirt line. It actually says it's called a heavy t-shirt. Like I said, sweatshirts, denim, that type of material, you don't generally have to worry about stretching too much. But there are instances where, like the shirt that I did today, it stretched on me. It was the one that I did in the Zoom, and I ended up having to reline everything. So I'll show you. How can I show you? Let me see. Gotta think on that one. Gotta think on how to show you how that turns out, because it is a pain. It's beautiful. It's a nice shirt, but it is a royal pain when it comes to lining up, and it will cause a problem actually, whether you're doing rhinestones, HTV, any form of heat applied decoration on the shirt, because the shirt is thin and the material gets even more spongy as you heat it up. And so you'll go to heat it up on the heat press, and when you pull the tape off, because the tape is sticky on the shirt, it'll stretch the shirt fibers as you're pulling it up off the shirt. And actually, I think I do know how I can show you that. Let's see. Let's get this done first. And that will not help you when you're trying to line up rhinestone designs. It will not help you at all when you're trying to line up. You're thinking you're doing something wrong, or you're thinking the designer didn't do the design right, when that's not it. It's the shirt stretched out of place, because heat will stretch the fibers of t-shirts. But definitely those like this shirt right here. Grab it. This is a Bella Canvas Next Level. This is a Next Level t-shirt, and it's super soft and super squishy. It's like a really soft t-shirt. So when I put it on the heat press and I pull the tape up, the red letters for In My Era they weren't lining up, because the shirt had stretched out of place. Okay, so just be careful about that, and we'll try and show what the stretch looks like, but I can't line it back up. So let's see, create. So I'm going to show you that method again that I just did with the first, in case you missed it, because it did go kind of quick. I surprised myself. I wasn't meaning to go super quick with that. So again, this is the inside. Normally, I do a U shape and go straight down and lay it flat. But again, if you are a little unsteady, and see, look how it's coming back to me. See how it's sticking back to my arm? That's that static electricity. So we're going to rub it a little bit on the back of that. And so now, look, it ain't coming back to attach to my arm. You see that? Crazy science, actually. Okay, so if you're unsteady and aren't good at going straight down and laying it flat, you can try this method. And if you normally get it off, you can try this method as well. But like I said, you still have to be kind of quick with it. All right. So let me know that you're paying attention and ready for me to drop this down. If you're interested in this method, say ready in the chat and I'll go ahead and put it down because I don't want you to miss it if this is something that you wanted to see, this technique on laying this tape down to help keep you from having stones shift. So let me know if you want to see it. Okay, cool beans. We got quite a few people ready. All right, so I don't want anybody to miss it. Okay. So again, normally I say take a U shape, go straight down, blah, blah. And that doesn't always work for everybody. So what I generally do is I'll hover it that's a good 6 inches above it just to kind of get an eyeball line for it. And then I'll come down with this side. You see how I'm bending just this little piece of it? See that? I'm just bending just that little itty bitty piece because you don't want a lot of tape stuck to this plastic because the plastic is unforgiving. It doesn't, peel off easily. So we want to try. That's why normally when I put my templates on these plastic mats, I cut the plastic mat away as much as I can. So it makes it easier for me to put the tape on and not have to worry about the tape getting stuck to that plastic. But anyway, bend up this little itty bitty section right here and just tape it right to the outside of that flock. You see, I'm not on the flock at all. I'm just barely touching that flock with this tape. All right. And so that also helps me see, am I too high up this way, too low that way? Right now I'm good. So now see, notice how it's moving the template. It's stuck to it. And then just take your hand and go straight down, just like boom, just like that with that tape. You still have to be quick. You still have to be quick with it because in case static picks it up, but at least you don't have to worry about dropping it accidentally or whatever because it's holding itself on this side. You're just holding it on that side. Now, if you accidentally drop it yourself, we may have to scrape the tape, and we'll show scraping the tape also here in a minute. Okay, so here's the second part. So that's the outline there. Here's the inside, and we're gonna pick this up. See how it's just, and it pops, and you don't want to have this tape pop off of that plastic either when you're picking these templates up because the popping off of this plastic mat will throw the stones off of this tape too, y'all. So that's why generally I cut these templates down. I don't leave all that extra plastic. Normally I don't. But I've been lazy lately because we've been cranking out templates. And so, see that popping? You don't want it to pop. Especially not going too quick. Okay? Woo! We did good. We did good. We did good. We did good. Okay. So, peeling this off. We'll go ahead and check the back side. Got a couple of stones that look sketchy with the glue, but I'm going to let it pass this time because it's not completely bad. All right. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this back on the tape. You can do it either way. You can lay it down yourself on the tape or put the tape on after you look at the back of the stone. All right. And then when you turn it over, boom, you're done with your second part. All right. So that's 2 parts. Now this template has 4, I believe. Yeah. So we got the word 2 and then 1 more section of the inside of the word create. Now this design is available on Patrice's website, craftableThings.com, and you can go and grab this template. So if Patrice or whomever wouldn't mind dropping, not Patrice. Yeah, Patrice, I think you might already, if you'll drop your site, or Sheila usually is Quick Draw McGraw. She's bombs.com. And get that out there. So if you want it, it says created to create. And we actually, or is this one for sale? Because we made this one in the class, didn't we? I can't even remember. Pretty sure we made this one in the class. So I might be wrong. It might not be on the website. I don't remember now. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think we made this in the class. Sounds like the storm might be passing us because I ain't heard it crank up. So we might be good for our time. All right, so here soon we're going to jump to showing lining this up, and that'll answer that question. So far, the question about the transfer tape and getting it to pick up everything without messing up stones. Make sure we answer most of that, and then I'll show what happens even if you do get some stones that shift. We'll show you what to do with that here in a moment. After we get this one going, put my heat press on because it's not on. You know what? I thought I had. I shouldn't have used these colors because I don't have a tote bag, a black tote bag, or a white one either. I don't think. I just have pink and blue tote bags. Okay. I don't know that this color is gonna work with those. But it's too late. I already brushed it. Okay. Looks great. So now we're going to pick this up. So the colors that I used, I apologize, I didn't mention it. This is brass. The red that I used first is light cyan, and this is light cyan AB. So that just leaves one more color that I need for the word to. So we're going to figure that one out. I might use this again, actually. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So I have this, and I had a piece of used tape. So I'm going to grab that. No, this one ain't used. Where's it? It's this one. And so this one, I'm going to drop it the normal way that we usually do. So instead of doing the hinge, I'm just going to do the taco. Okay. So we're going to go straight down with that. And again, if you don't cut the extra plastic off of your template mat, try and miss as much of that plastic as you can. Okay. So you're going to see me get it more up this way because that plastic is thinner than down here. That's a lot of tape, and I don't feel like popping it off and all of that jazz. So taco, and just go straight down, boom, just like that. Lay it out and rub your hands to pick it up. Okay. And also, while you're rubbing it on this side, you also can do this. It's almost the same feeling if you're rubbing as if I do when it's in the template without the tape. You can kind of sometimes feel when there's extra stones too. So just, you know, get used to the feel of your stones in the template, and eventually it'll be second nature to you. All right, and so I'm gonna pick this up. That one didn't want to come up, so let's see. Why you want to act monkey? Oh, we got two there, and one there, and there's that. Okay, and so now that we have that, there's that part. And so now we need the word to. All right, and I'm going to grab this. Actually, you know what? Let's grab this. So the word to, I think that's the curve for the the word two, so that's going to put it too close to that. Let's go, well, no, because it's going up in the word create. Well, I guess I'm going to use this, the light cyan AB again. Hopefully it'll stand out enough. I hope so. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to think of what I can put this on because I don't want to have to go get anything, but I might have to. Oh, heat presses at optimal temperature. All right, let's get that out of the way. Get those out of the way. Okay. That joint. Oh, okay, so let's put that in. And there's the word two. And I'm going to recycle this piece of tape that I had from earlier because I don't want to use a whole thing of tape. And we're going to put that down. All right, so there's that. Heat press is on. Let's see what's on this shirt. Oh, let's do this shirt because it's not a, I hate the waist though. Actually, technically it's not. Okay, so we're going to use this shirt. This is a Bella Canvas shirt and it's a little soft, so it may help me make the point that I was trying to make earlier. I don't know. While I knock stuff down, this shirt is one that I had and I cut the bottom of it so I can play with it a little more and cut on it some more later so that I don't waste a design. Not worried about wasting the shirt so much as I am wasting the design. Okay, so let us, that's a pre-press. So whenever, another thing I want to mention when you're doing your stones and stuff, make sure you're pre-pressing your shirt. That means you take whatever shirt it is that you're going to put the design on and you're going to press it first. And generally I suggest about the same amount of time that you press it for your rhinestones or longer. So that's 15-20 seconds to pre-press the shirt. And what that does is it gets moisture out of the fabric of the shirt and it lets the shirt be prepped and ready to accept the glue of the stones. Okay, so just keep that in mind because a lot of times, and that actually, that technique, you definitely want to use it whether you're doing vinyl, whether you're doing rhinestones, whether you're doing DTF, any of those, you need to be pre-pressing your shirts. I know it's a pain. I know it's extra time. When I was doing 50 shirts at a time with DTF for the restaurant that I was doing the shirts for, I went through and pre-pressed all of those shirts at the beginning so that I did not forget to pre-press those shirts, because the last thing you want is a customer to call you saying, hey, the vinyl is coming off, the DTF is coming off, blah, blah, blah. Man, no, you don't set yourself up for that. Yes, it'll last. Yes, it'll still stick. Yes, it'll still look good. But, you know, those shirts that were pre-pressed will still be looking great wash after wash after wash about 6 to 12 months down the road. Whereas the shirts that were not pre-pressed, the vinyl and stuff will start to lift. Okay. All right. So here is the first. This is the outline. It says created. And then this is the word create down here at the bottom, but this is the jewel part. So we're going to go ahead and press this. And I don't know if it's going to stretch or not because this shirt, this isn't a, let's see, I don't think this is a heavy, no, this is a Bella Canvas, so it might stretch. It might. I know that gray Bella Canvas is a lot softer than this. Your heather shirts generally stretch too. The heather colored shirts. Something about the fibers with that. you'll pre-press, but you forget to lint roll. I don't lint roll. I'm embarrassed to say that, but it's the truth. I don't lint roll my shirts. Not for, I do for sublimation, but not for the rhinestones. So let me show you something. Here's a shirt, just pressed it. Now, the tape came off really good. It came off quite excellent, actually. But you see how it's still pulling at the shirt when you take that tape off. The longer you let your tape cool coming off of that heat press, the stickier that tape is going to be on that shirt. And so when you go to pull your tape off to leave the stones behind, if it's done cooled all the way down, it's going to stretch the fibers of that shirt, and it's going to stretch your design out of place. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So knowing that, can you see the outline of the words back here? See the red outline? I'm glad I used the dark color. So let's see. You can line this up ahead of time and look at it ahead of time to see if it did stretch out of place. You can do that. So with the KTM mask anyways, or the mask, the tacky tape that we sell, you can see the outline. So if you, I wish I could zoom in on this, but I can't zoom in. I don't know how well you can see this, but this is lined up perfectly. This is perfect. That's perfect. But when you get to the R, you'll see there's a shift here. There's a little bit of space right here to the inside. Not so much down here, but a little bit to the outside. And the stones are closer to where if I were to press this just like it is, these stones will press on top of that red outline on the back side of that R. And the same with the letter C. There's space here, space on this side, space here, but on the back side, it's closer to the red line. Okay. And then down here is not lining up as well down here either. But on this side, I'm great. So let me show you what you can do. If you notice that. So being that this side looked better, I'm going to go ahead and line up over here. All right. And then get that in, get that in. All right. Before I mess with this down here, I'm going to try and get this right. Now, just like I said, there's space here, there's space here, and I see now that these stones are touching. So I'm going to lift this back up just a little bit. You see that? I'm going to lift it up just a little bit. I'm going to leave the E and the A and the T in place. I'm leaving that in place. But I'm going to take my shirt and just kind of pull it just a little bit. Just kind of give it just a little bit of a tug. Just a little itty bitty bit. And I'm going to put it back down. And so now my brass stones are not on top of that red line. Now they're not on top of it anymore. Okay. They're not there. So what I'm doing is now that I have that R in place like it's supposed to be, I'm smoothing the tape down on top of where the outline is so that it doesn't move anymore while I make sure that my C is adjusted like it's supposed to. So I'm going to lay this down and it fits. Now that I've moved it over for that, just that little itty bitty bit, now these line up the way they're supposed to, and I can smooth it in place so that this stays in place while I work on this down here in case this is out of place as well. Did you see that? Did that make sense? What I was saying about do what lines up first and then smooth it in place so that it keeps the tape locked down on the shirt, around the shirt, on that red outline. Then just do a slight tug in the direction of what you need to get those stones to lay in the design like it was supposed to. Right? So I'm going to do the same thing down here because let me see if you can see this. See how that on that letter E, the gold stones are sitting on top of the red. Can you see that? See how those gold stones are laying on top? That's because the shirt stretched. So what I want to do in this instance, because I can't, if I pull the shirt this way, then it will pull the red further up under the brass stones, and that's definitely not what I want. So I'm going to lift this up to unstick it from everything down here. And then I'm going to lay it right back down and see if just doing just that will help with the alignment of the stones. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. In this instance, it does, but then again, it doesn't. Okay, so that's where you kind of got to be creative, take your time. Now, if the time that I'm taking to do this is what I would take for a customer. The time that I'm taking to do this is definitely what I would do for a customer. Or if I was that picky and I wanted my stuff super perfect, this is the time that I would take to do it. But if it's just, you know, like for me in a project or whatever, a lot of times y'all don't see me doing it. So I'm just going to make sure that this lines up as good as possible without those stones overlapping. And again, you might have to manipulate the shirt, and the tape may be wrinkled. You see how it's kind of like bubble right there? We don't care. That part doesn't matter. We just need our stones to be laid and none of this to move. All of this can be as bubble as we want it. We don't care. All right. Because we need these stones to be lined up perfectly so that when we line the other stones up for the rest of the word, then everything falls into place. So in this one, I am going to have to stretch the shirt just a little bit to get these red stones closer. Just a little bit of shirt manipulation, that's all. So that's perfect. This is now perfect. This should be perfect, and that allows everything else to line up into place. So now you can see the word create coming into focus, and none of my stones are laid on top of each other. And they have great spacing in between the lines. Now this is just a little close, but for the most part, the spacing and everything else looks great. Okay, you see that? So now that we have this lined up perfect and that lined up perfect and everybody's sticking good. Now I will say this too. Really quick, let me mention this as well. If you're using tape that's been used before, this will be a little bit difficult. Just a little bit, because this tape is newer, so it's sticking to the shirt and sticking to the stones really, really well. Like it's a new piece of tape, because it is. But once you use it 3, 4, 5 times, it loses some of that stickiness. So make sure that your tape is cooled down to help get you as much sticky as you can to lay and position your stones. And if you find that it's not gripping your shirt good, then you may struggle a little bit. So just keep that in mind. Another positive for fresh pieces of tape. Okay, so we're going to put this on now, and I'm going to press this layer. And I'm probably going to cut and shred the bottom of that shirt and make it like a fringe or something. I figured it out since I've already cut it. But do something cute to the bottom of it. All right, so here is the second layer. This is the brass. So let's pull this. Now, the hotter it is, the easier it is for this tape to peel. But as you see, it's still lifting the shirt and stretching the shirt. It is still stretching this shirt. Okay. So just be careful. Keep that in mind, that your shirts do stretch as you're pulling this tape off. That's why a lot of times I bling right on the heat press. I bling right on the heat press. And yeah, you can definitely, cut up your KTM mask in order to get it to line up. You saw how I did this up here first and then pulled it back and then went to work for at the bottom. I very well could have just cut that tape right down the middle so that this would stay flat, and then I could work with this separate. That's another way to definitely handle this. You can cut these pieces apart, because once you shift that shirt, once you pull that tape off, it's going to stretch the shirt out of place, and your things are not going to line up like they're supposed to, and it's going to make you mad. Just cut the tape up. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to take you a little bit more time, but it still doesn't hurt anything to do that. So now let's line this up. Here's the other part to the word. So see, look, here I got the C in place, but look, now there's a gap right down here. which I'm sure you can see that. But this up here is lined up the way it's supposed to. Ain't that crazy? Why? The shirt shifted when we pull that tape off. So now I'm gonna kind of put that in there. And now the R is shifted. So we're gonna lift this up a little bit. And we're gonna pull this R, pull this shirt. So yes, in this instance, I could cut the C apart, the letter C, and then come back with just the top part of the R, which I might do because it's not wanting to be in place like I want it. So let's try that so that you can see what that looks like. Okay, so here I have the C laid in place, so we're gonna leave that alone. And now I'm gonna cut this tape like that. And so now let's puzzle piece the rest of it together. So actually, hold on, because that shifted back up some. I want that to be a little bit closer. There we go. All right. So now, and then sometimes as the shirt cools, it'll shrink back into place. So just, you know, sometimes you may just want to give it a minute. But okay, so there's the R where I want it to be. And so now that the R is in place, look at this. This is crazy. Look at the letter E. See how those stones are overlapping at the bottom of the E? But the R is in place. See what I'm saying? So that when it stretches, it does stretch a whole hot glue mess sometimes. The spongier shirts tend to do that. The Gildan heavy duty, rarely do I have that issue out of them. Not to say that it can't happen, but those I don't usually have an issue. So we're going to cut this one all the way apart. So there's the R. Let's line up this E. All right, let's line up this A. Looks like I can get the A in there good. Yep, A is great. T is perfect. E is almost perfect. Let's get this E to line up. So I didn't have to cut everything apart. Perfect. Okay, so there's the create. All right, can you see it? Looks great, doesn't it? I absolutely love this. All right, so the E is done. R, that's cut, and then the rest we were able to lay in place. So let's go ahead and now let me mention this as well. So I have a lot of extra tape up here. And somebody may say, well, why can't you press the word to? Well, I can't because this tape is laid in the way. So even if I were to pull it down so that the word to would fit in there, it would mess up this because these stones need to press. So I have to press it in layers. So, which is no worries. We want it to turn out absolutely gorgeous. So layers is not a bad thing, and you take your time and it'll get done correctly. So I'm glad I was able to show you how it stretches. So that t-shirt is a next level t-shirt. This is another next level t-shirt. This one stretch. You see how thin, see how you can see through that? See how thin that is? These definitely stretch. This is a super, super soft t-shirt. So soft to the touch. So this definitely stretch. You don't want the soft t-shirts. This one is soft as well, but it's not as thin as this shirt is. This is a lot thinner, but it's still a soft shirt and it stretches. But the problem is, and I'm going to do this one. I don't normally do this because like I said, the hotter it is when you take it off the press, the smoother and easier that tape comes off. But I just let it cool down just a little itty bitty bit. This ain't even a lot because it's still hot to the touch. And notice this, the tape, see how it's pulling it up way worse than it did when I pulled it off the other letters? That's because I let it cool down. You don't want, see, look at that. That other shirt didn't pick up that bad. Okay, so you don't want to stretch out your shirt. So whenever you go to pull that tape off, make sure it's hot off the press. That's why, again, I tend to bling over on the press. Once I get that first layer laid out just right. When I'm doing shirts and not on camera, I try to bling over there so that it's super hot once I peel that tape off, and I don't have to worry about my shirt stretching out of place as much. All right, so let's go to the word to and peel this off. All right, and so now here's the word to, and thank goodness these stones have a big enough gap from the top of that to where using the same color didn't hurt anything. And there's the word to. And so let's, even though I wish that was down a little bit more, let me see if I can get that to get a little bit more space in there. There we go. Just a little bit more space. All right. And I'm going to press this, and that'll be the final press for this particular design. And it's I love these colors. Yikes. Those colors are amazing. Okay. So next we'll bling one of these. This is 1/2 of our beginner kit templates, just to show you what happens if something gets messed up and what you can do. And then I'll show you something new that the mister came up with that I thought was just super cute. So look at this. I'm peeling it off super hot, right? Look at that. Barely picked up the shirt because it was super hot. You know, I did flap it that one time before it came over here, but still. And here is Created to Create to help you line up your, even though this wasn't ombre, it was still close enough. You have to line up stones. And yes, I do a full press on every layer. I don't do like a quick press. So for our stones, we suggest you press them for 12 to 15 seconds for these stones after you pre-press your shirt. 12 to 15 seconds. So I had, what's that, 4 layers. So I did 12 to 15 seconds each layer. Okay. So here's how you can line these up, ways to get those to line up even when, you know, you're having trouble. Again, it may not be you. It darn sure ain't the design. A lot of times it's you peel the tape off and it stretched the shirt. So you got to manipulate that shirt back into place. So the shirts that I absolutely love to bling that rarely stretch for me are the Gildan heavy style. And I know a lot of folks is like, ugh, I hate Gildan. Gildan is da 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 da, ABC, XYZ. Okay, that's all well and good. Use the shirt that you want to use. I'm just telling you the shirt that doesn't stretch out of place is bad for me. Those heavy style shirts, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't usually have issues out of those stretching. All the other shirts, these, especially Bella Canvas, Next Level, those soft, spongy, cutesy, teenagery shirts that's thin, that the wind blow through and you standing there freezing, those shirts will stretch out of place easily. They just will. They just will. They're great shirts, great quality shirts, but they will stretch under that heat. Okay. So just keep that in mind as you're lining up your design. Don't get too frustrated. Just take your time, and then you can cut, if you need to, cut the tape apart, layer your stuff that way. All right. So let's take a look and see what happens when things go south. Okay. So I'm going to grab some more of, let's do the light cyan AB again, because it's going to be a little easier for y'all to see. And let me see if I can't get y'all in just a little bit more. Let's see, is that going to work? Yeah. Okay. I think that's as close. Nope. Oh, yes. Okay. So here we go. We got, wish I had done that to begin with. Okay. So here's light cyan AB again. See, when you clean up your studio, you find stuff like the remote that goes to your camera. Yay. All right. So I'm going to brush out this, add some more. Whenever you're blinging, it's easier to get these stones in there if you have more stones than what you need. It's easier to get those stones in there. because they use each other to flip each other over into the template and get into place. So don't be stingy putting your stones on there like, ooh, I don't want to clean up all this. No, pour them on. Pour them on so that you can get them to play with each other and get each other in place. So again, this template is a part of our beginner's kit. It's in the beginner's kit. If you've never done bling before and you want to give it a shot, the beginner's kit comes with the template, the inside. This is the inside. There's also an outline to this. It comes with a scoop. It comes with the bone brush. It comes with tweezers. It comes with a pin, and it comes with the tape to pick it up. Okay, 2 pieces of tape to pick it up. And again, the tape is reusable. So use it again, and you're free to use this template however you need to make you some stuff and bling you some stuff. Denim, try out your denim. If you don't want to try bigger, you can try the little heart. You don't, I mean, just use it however you see fit to practice and get your technique down. That's what these are for. Okay, so now that we've got our 2 hearts brushed in with our light cyan AB, let us mess up. Okay, I'm not gonna mess up with that. We're gonna cut off a piece of this. We're gonna mess up a couple of ways. Okay, so let me cut this off. It's a used piece of tape, but it's still a very good used piece of tape. Look at there, I messed up already, and I wasn't even trying to. I wasn't even trying. What happened? Tape fell smack dab on top of this darn thing, and sticky side down at that. So it's done picked up this part of the stones. You can't see because of the darn glare. So I'm gonna move this so that you can see. See, look what it picked up. Now I wouldn't recommend you pick up templates because it'll shift them. See how those top stones then come off? I wasn't even trying. And then here, the stones are on the thing, and you're like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. Easy peasy mac and cheesy. There's a couple of things you can do. If you have our beginner's kit, you have our bling scoop. You can use that. If you do vinyl and stuff like that, you have a squeegee. You can use that. If you don't have that squeegee, but you have one of these, which is by Cricut, you also find these at the Dollar Tree. Okay, these are at the Dollar Tree. Let me show you one because I got one. Here's one from Dollar Tree. Nothing's on it, no name or nothing, but this is from Dollar Tree. Exact same thing. The inside up there is different, and it ain't rubber up there. But I'm just saying, you can use these. All you do, here's the stones that you see on that side. This is the sticky side. Just hold it down. See how my hand is stuck to it? Just hold it down. Add pressure. Set the scraper down on the back side of those stones and just slide. Put pressure on this scraper. Put pressure on this scraper and push forward. And what it'll do is squeeze those stones right on off of that tape. Now, when you do this for the first time, you'll probably do this and slide it all the way off, and stones may go flying or whatever. But you'll learn the technique. Just take your time and scrape. Take your time and scrape it off. Take your time and scrape it off. Take your time and scrape it off. And then once you scrape those stones off, then you can pick them up and put them in the container where they're supposed to be. And as I mentioned to the folks earlier today, I just pretty much, I'm going to show it with this. I slide it up under the lip of this is a cutting mat. I slide it up under the lip of the cutting mat and slide the stones right off. So I'm going to do that because that's off camera. You can't see it. So I'm going to slide these right off, and then I'm going to show you the stones are sitting right there. I hold both sides tilted back, and those stones fall down in that chamber, and then tilt them right on off into the container that my stones are in. All right, so now that I've done that, you got some stones missing. So now what we need to do, you can either pour some on here and brush it again, or you can, if you have one of these shaker trays, If you do flat back rhinestones, or the stones where you add the glue, you can do the shaker tray and you can pick them up one by one and put them in place if that's what, or if you don't have a shaker tray, you can pour some out on the table, pick them up one by one, put them in the place. You can do it that way too. It's up to you. However you want to get those stones back in the template is entirely up to you. I generally just take my time, add a couple, you know, the stones one at a time, because I don't want to brush back over the top of them, because sometimes that will knock stones out again. So I'm going to show you another mess up that could happen and how to fix it. This one I've shown many times, so you probably already going to be like, I already know that part. So let's do this. Whoops. Sometimes I have to use a wax pickup pen because when my arthritis is acting up, I can't pick these jokers up like this. So it just kind of depends on how my hands are acting. Right now, they're good. In the mornings, it's tragic. I can barely brush my teeth. All right, so there's the template. The stones are back in place like they're supposed to be. So let's get this and hold it the right way this time. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do the, actually, let's not do the U shape. I'm going to do what I showed earlier. So I'm going to show it again in case anybody missed it the first time on how to do the hinge method, because we show the taco method all the time. So hinge method, I'm going to make sure that this thing is lined up, and then I'm going to come off to the side and I'm going to stick it to the side of the thing. And I'm paying attention, but sometimes you might do this and not pay attention and not realize that hinging can mess you up. You do have to account for it, but somebody might see what I'm about to do. No, poor G, the buy-in starts on the 30th. So what we're about to do is the hinge method, but just pay attention to what I'm doing. So here's the hinge on the side, and I'm going to come straight down, and it's not big enough. I'm missing these stones right here. That can happen. You lay down tape and you didn't get all of the stones. You see these out here naked and alone, naked and afraid. They're all super sad because they wanted to be a part of the crew. They wanted to be on the shirt too. And they over here left out and lonely. No worries. We can pick them up. There's enough room on the school bus. So what we're going to do is peel this part of the tape up where there are no stones. And since that's a little section, it can happen even if it's a bigger section. We can cut off a bigger section, but I'm just going to cut off a little section right here. No fuss, no muss. Little section of tape. And I'm going to lay this on top of the tape that's already there, but make sure that it's enough to overlap that. And there you got all of the stones are now a part of the family. Okay? All of the stones are part of the family. It's not a major thing if you got some that's out of place. Just trim off another piece of tape or get another piece of scrap tape and cut off a piece of that and make another a piece big enough. Okay? So that's what you can do. And then we'll peel it off. And here we have our template. Oh, there was an extra stone in there, so that's why that didn't pick up. All right, and so here we go. How cool is that? Here's our template. But again, if something was messed up and it didn't do right, that's part of the reason why I love this scoop so much, because it's much bigger and covers more room. Just take it, hold it down tight as you can, and scrape these jokers right on off. You didn't apply any heat to them. So because you didn't heat them, you can reuse them. And they'll brush in, even though they were stuck to this tape, they'll still brush into a template and they'll still pick up without any issues whatsoever. Okay, so let's scrape these off. Oh, that piece of tape came off that we did to make it longer. So it's stuck to the bottom, but no worries, it's such a little piece of tape. We just gonna scrape that right on off. And there you have all your stones back. Okay. So hopefully that made sense. Did that make sense? Please let me know if it did. Patrice, Thank you for, she said she's going to enjoy the live therapy session. Thank you so much for being a member for 29 months. Y'all, honey. Y'all. Thank you very, very much, Patrice. We definitely love craftable things in your channel. Let's scoop this right on off, and I'm going to put these right on in there with the shaker tray instead of the scoop. All right, so I'm going back through the chat to make sure that I answered the questions that I wanted to answer. So that was lining up the designs. So hopefully you guys definitely understand lining up the design. So hopefully that made sense. Okay, main is placing the tape on the stone. Okay, so that was that. We did that too. We did that as well. We talked about that, picking up the tape, shifting stones. This was a major thing that a lot of folks have. So let me go back to selecting colors. So Dr. Monique Johnson, selecting colors is, some people have it natural. I'm aware that like Patrice is excellent at matching her colors. That's why I call her the color master. She can just mentally say, oh, that color and that color and that color would be perfect, and it just looks great. And if it doesn't look great, she'll say, well, do you like it? That's Delonda says, and it's funny, and we all laugh, but it's the truth. She's very good at matching colors. But if you are not good at matching colors, I've shown you guys many times about the color wheel. There's a color wheel available on Amazon. I don't have the link in this chat. I need to put it in the link. Put this link in the chat. It's a color wheel. And someone asked me earlier how to use the color wheel. We also have a color wheel that we sell on the website, but this is just more like a novelty. Let me switch the camera. This is more like a little novelty thing. This is a wheel and it spins, but it's also a pin. So you can pin this to like your shopping bag, or, you know, whatever you want to pin it to, so that you'll have it with you, the inside of a purse or something like that. And it actually does spin. This is metal. This is zinc alloy pin that you can use. Well, the way you use both of these is exactly the same, although the colors are reversed, it looks like. But the way it works is there are, this is a part of what's called a color theory. A color theory is based on the color wheel. All 12 of the major colors are on the wheel. And out of the major colors, there's a color theory called analogous. And I always say that wrong. So, you know, you can laugh at me. I really don't care. Analogous, there's complementary, and then there's triadic colors. So there's three separate theories to the color wheel. And the way this works is triadic. And this works the exact same way with this wheel as well. Triadic, like think of a tricycle. How many wheels is on a tricycle? There's three wheels on a tricycle. So triadic means three. So the three colors at the three even points on a color wheel will go together. The three colors at three equal points of the color wheel will go together. So if you look at this color wheel, it has the points pointing to the three separate colors. So in this instance, purple, a bluish purple, an orange, and a green, those three colors will complement. Those three colors make the triadic color theory, in that those three colors will work together. Same on this color wheel. Triadic would be, again, yellow, green, this is a reddish, and this is the color blue. So these three make a triadic color. Okay. So those colors go together. So triadic means three. That's one of the color theories. The other color theory is the one that I have a hard time saying is analogous, or analogous. So with that, you see there's a big window right here at the top of this pin. Any of the colors side by side in that window will go together. Any of the colors. So if I turn it right here, purple, fuchsia, red, and that orange, red, those colors will go together, and they will look great together because it's the analogous I don't know how to say it. So same on this color wheel. Any of the 4 colors side by side on this color wheel will go together. So that helps you be able to pick your colors. So if you're like, I need to do a shirt, well, what color is the shirt? The color of the shirt is green. Okay, well, what color stones will look good on that? Well, I can go with aqua, I can go with turquoise, or I could go with blue. Or I could go with yellow green, I could go with yellow, and I can go with orange yellow. Same right here. You could turn this, the color of the shirt is green, so let's include the shade of green that's in that shirt. However you turn this wheel, as long as that shade of green is in that window, then those colors will go together with that shirt. Does it make sense? Oh, thank you, Crafting, for the fun of it. I just don't be wanting to sound crazy. All right, then the third theory of the color wheel is complementary. So when you compliment someone, it's like, hi, you know what, you look fantastic. That's a compliment from me to you. Or for those who are scripturally inclined, a woman compliments her husband. That's because they were joined, they're together, and one goes great with the other, and that's how it's supposed to work. All right, so complementary is the 2 colors exactly opposite each other on a color wheel complement each other. Okay, so take for instance on this particular color wheel, the orange and the blue. Orange and blue is going to complement each other. Red and aqua, they're going to complement each other. The green and the magenta, think aka green and pink, they're going to complement each other. What else? I mean, so same on this, but on this pen, there's a little teeny set of windows that help you see what's across from each other. So those 2 colors, same situation, because the color wheel is the same, it's just reversed. So they're going to complement each other. So there's the orange and the blue. There's the purple and the yellow. See what I'm saying? So that's where it will help you pick your colors. The color wheel is awesome. It definitely has, you know, little things on the back to show you the complementary, the triadic, and the blah 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 on the back of this. This is on Amazon. If you want the color wheel, the arrows point to it, the windows point to it, so you don't have to think super hard. Okay, that's when I saw this, I was like, oh, that is so cute. And then that's when I was like, okay, yeah, we're getting this to help those that want to pick their colors. So when it comes to picking your colors, you can do the exact same thing with rhinestones. You got a black shirt. Well, what colors are going to work together in your design that's going to look great and bring everything together for your rhinestone designs? Okay, so that's that. That's how we pick colors. Now, another thing that we have or that we're trying to implement that will help us pick colors was a great idea by the Mr. McQuackins himself. I was very pleasantly surprised. I'm thoroughly impressed with his idea, and it's worked super great, and I love how it looks. So for those of you who are, most of us in here are familiar with going to go get your nails done, and they're like, okay honey, you go wash your hands and pick a color. You go pick a color. What do you grab? You grab your colors. And so he was like, why don't you make your colors on the little sticks? And I was like, bruh, genius. Okay, like he earned so many brownie points for this idea until it really doesn't make any kind of sense. I'm indebted brownie point wise to Mr. McCarthy for quite some time. Okay, so yes, Cheryl H, it's on hotfixfix.store. That color pen is on hotfixfix.store. So here is, I love my candy trays. Love my candy trays. Folks are generally like, ooh, when I first showed the candy trays, do you make them? Do you sell them? No, because a candy tray takes a lot of time to make those candy trays. But these, they still take time, but they do not take anywhere the amount of time that it takes to do candy trays. So what I was thinking, and I don't know because y'all know how my life is and how things can happen. But what I was thinking is, if you're interested in these, I only have a few slots that I will make them to try them out of all of the colors that we have. Or if you're wanting to do them yourself, I will link you and show you where you can get the little sticks from, where you can get your, well, you know where you can get your stones. You can make it yourself. It's entirely up to you. But if you don't want to make it, well, there's an opportunity where on our site we will make them for you. But I only am going to do a few because I got to get ready for our show coming up in June, and these take time to make these jokers, man. I've been sitting here. Let's see, even with my daughter's help, it took us, even with my daughter's help and having to stop and do other things and other stuff, it took a while to get these done. So, but I have 3 sets though. So here's one set, but these are for the show. That's why we did this particular thing, because we making these so that when we go to our show in June, we can show people what the color stones are, and you can see them up close and personal before you purchase. Okay, now the other thing I like, which is why I was getting to it, because of the color wheel, you also can match colors. Because as I was telling the folks the other day, I stumbled across a color match that I was like, bruh, I got to have a shirt in them colors, right? So I had made it to the color olivine, which is right here, because I was going in alphabetical order. And look at these 3 colors. Look at those 3 colors together. Look at that. What? Come on, fam. So that's magenta, that's Montana, and that's olivine. Can you see? Look at how, tell me, fam. That is super cute. That is super duper, super cute. And even if you kind of like, whoop, covered that up, look at that. Come on, fam. So it was like, I would have never put them together with the candy trays because they're never really, but when I looked at them on these things, I went, bruh, that is cute. So you can easily lay these out for your customers and look at the colors and decide what colors are going to work for you. Now, I haven't done, and I'm saying that we'll make them, I'm only doing, I think, 10 sets right now that I'd be willing to do, because I need to finish the sets for us. This is not all of the colors. There is no AB colors in here. None of the AB colors is in here because I'm not done yet. None of the opals, none of the neons. I'm not done. I've been working on this for a couple of days. So I'm just saying, if you're interested, I don't know how to, I guess I could probably do a pre-order or something. I don't know. But for right now, I do have 10 slots on hotfixfix.store for a full set. This is not a full set. I do have 10 slots. But anyway, I just wanted to show y'all that because I thought it was super cute. And I personally didn't think anybody would be interested. But again, it's easy. You get your tips. Let me grab the tips so that you can see them. Because I mean, some of y'all are handy and don't mind doing for yourself. If you don't mind doing for yourself, bro, get it in. Get it in. So here you got, they come individually. They come with a hole already in it. You see, my daughter-in-law, she wrote the name on there. I was going to put labels on them, and I still might label them. I may let her go ahead and finish writing them for me because she did such a great job. Her handwriting is gorgeous. Mine is like trash, so that's why I wasn't going to write them. And then one at a time on there. Now, I use UV resin. You can use glue. I cannot find the glue that Patrice sent. I actually love that glue, Patrice. That glue, I like, especially with the applicator. But I tried to find it earlier and I can't find it. But it's in this crazy hot food mess of a studio somewhere. But anyway, you could use the glue if you wanted to. Like I said, I use resin, and just one at a time. It works out with the SS10. With the SS10, it works out to be something like 5 rows across and 5 rows deep. So it's like 25 stones per tip. Yeah, Cheryl, that's exactly what it is. Yes, Fat Luck. I'm going to do, oh, no. I'm going to eventually mix in the AB and then do the opals separate, the neon. I don't know, Fat Luck. That's something I've been playing with. I want to see how it looks on here mixed in, and then I kind of want to see what it looks separate. Because when we're at the show, we're not selling every single one of our colors. We will not have every single one of the colors at our show. But for myself or for someone who wants a full set, it will have all of the colors minus the mixes. I will not be putting the mixes on here because the mixes aren't quite the same thing, in my opinion. I don't know how to explain it. But these are just the colors that we sell is what would be on here for on our website. But at the show, I'm only putting on here the colors that we're going to be selling. Woo, Brandy, I don't know. This can't this can't be part of the starter package because it's too much. It won't fit in the starter package, but you know, it is an option. We're looking to make it an option. It does take time to make them, but we're looking at making it an option if people are interested. Y'all may not want to, but yeah. So here's the thing, and I'll try to go back and add the link to these. Where I got them off from Amazon so that you can, or just, I don't know what you call them because I don't remember what I called them, but you can find them. But I will put my, if you don't mind, I'll put my affiliate link from off of Amazon and let you guys go find them. But yeah, so that's that. In matching colors, anything to help you match your colors. We're trying to, you know, be as helpful as we possibly can. So that answers that question. Okay, so let me go back to the starred comments and make sure I'm not missing anything. Fat Luck Creations, real quick, she says, mention the show in June, still having Bling Fest. So Bling Fest, the mister told me I cannot cancel Bling Fest. So we are, but we will definitely keep you guys updated on Bling Fest ASAP because we know where we want to have it. If we have it, I just need to get all of the dates locked in with the location. Deborah says, I'm coming to the show and we'll buy it there if you have them. Now, the ones that we'll have at the show for right now are not complete sets because these are just for the show and the colors that we'll have at the show. But after the show, I don't know. We'll have to talk to the mister about that. Let's see. So let me go back and make sure I did not miss any other colors. What is my heat press? So the heat press that I use, Chris, is the HTV Ront press. Let me see. I could probably take this camera off and show you. Let me do it this way. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's see. Y'all, sorry. Up close and in person. Let me move. And it's junk over here. I'm just being like completely transparent. So here is my HTV Ront. I have two of them. I will have both of them at the Bling Fling, sorry, in June. I love these. They're portable. They don't smoke me out of my studio. They're very compact, and then if it's on, which I'm gonna turn it on real quick. The other thing I like is the automatic doohickey, where when I push the tray in, it lowers automatically. From what I understand, they're coming out with another version where you can adjust the pressure, I think. But this is my heat press, and it has three separate temperatures built into it where you can change the temperature if you want to. And I think that's it. I did have another heat press that I got from Heat Transfer Warehouse, but unfortunately, Tilly broke on me. Whoops. Tilly broke on me, and so I had to put Tilly out the pasture because it was team too much. When I was closing the lid on it, it wouldn't stay shut, and I don't know what the deal was with that. So I stopped using it, and we just got rid of it, unfortunately. Let's see. Let me go back up, make sure I did not miss a question. If you could share a color combination I used on a shirt on a plum Bella canvas, icicles outline, pink opal top ombre, rose AB bottom ombre, gorgeous. We'll have to take a mental screenshot of that color combination. I don't have the pink opal or the Rose AB on here. I do have icicles on this, but I don't have those two, so I can't put them together. I could go get the candy trays and show it, but I'm sure that was absolutely gorgeous on a plum shirt. I definitely don't have a plum shirt. Let's see. Let's see. Make sure I did not. I thought it was another question. Okay, so this just gifted, making your own templates. Now, this is an easy question to answer, just gifted, because we have an expert in here on making rhinestone templates, Miss Craftable Things. Now, whether or not she's going to be doing classes, you know, in the quick future, near future, I don't know, but usually about once every other month she'll have a beginning rhinestone designing class that you can take and learn how to make your own rhinestone templates. So that is an option. Just keep craftabletthings.com in mind when she has the class. It'll show up on her website and you can take the class. So that's a really great class. It's a 5 roughly hour class, but it is so super informative. You'll learn what you need to know on how to make a rhinestone template, and it works really well. We have a lot of folks. If you took that class and you're in here and you learned how to make rhinestone templates successfully and you enjoyed the class, give us a heart in the chat so that Craftable Things will know how much you really appreciated her class. All right, so definitely do that for us, please. Let me make sure. I think that was, oh no, this one. Okay, so wasting flop because you cut a piece for each color you plan to use instead of trying the tape method. Now that I'm saying it out loud again, I totally understand what you're saying. So, crafting with Delonda. With that particular question, I kind of want to address it this way. And all what Delonda is saying, and I'm going to show it with this template only because this is the only one that I have a template available. But say, for instance, she only wants to use this heart and this heart in a design. This is going to be one color. This is going to be, well, no, the whole thing. She wants to do this design, but this is going to be a color. This is going to be a color, and this is going to be a color. So the way we normally do rhinestone templates is it's based on the layer, the color layer. So if this is pink, this is green, and this is blue, then you would cut this heart out first, and it would be this exact same square, but the heart will be right here. Then you'll cut out the next color, same square, but this will be missing, this will be missing, and it'll cut this little heart out. And then the third layer would have these two missing, and the heart would be right here in this exact same square. The reason why it's done that way is to help you when it's time to lay your tape down and line up your design. So say, for instance, we did that created to create design. Let's lay that shirt out again so that we can take a look not only at how gorgeous it is, but to just give you an idea. So when you use tape method, number one, not every design works with tape method. I'm just going to be honest. Like, for instance, if you wanted just to do the word created, this design will not work with the tape method because the outline tape method is this. Actually, let me show you what she's saying. Tape method would be taking this entire design, right? And you would cut all of this out in one color. For the most part, that's what she's getting at. And so the word to is there and all of these parts. Well, what you would probably do is take some tape on your template, or let me show it better on this template. Oh my God, why is my grandbaby crying? I'm going to beat somebody down. I hear him all the way in here. I'm mad they don't pulled up with my grandbaby crying. Somebody about to get killed. All right, so you would use the tape and cover this up. Use the tape and cover this up. And then you would brush this in. Then after this is brushed in, you would take the tape off And then you would cover up this little one and brush this in. And then once that's done, you would brush the last one in and pick it all up on one piece of tape. The problem with that is this template could work that way, but this one will not, because you can't tape off the outline. And you can't tape off these sections of create really well, because you just can't. But you can tape this off and you can tape that off to do the word too. You know, it depends on the template. And for me, honestly, just to keep down the stress of having to work around tape and miss sections and do sections, I'm just gonna cut it like it's supposed to be by color layer. And I know it feels like a waste of flock, but the peace of mind in making sure that everything is in the place that it's supposed to be when I put that tape down. Because you remember the outline for the word created was in the right place, and these red parts that I did with the word created was in the right place. I didn't have to try and figure anything out. Or the inside of the word create was one template with this gold part. I didn't have to figure anything out. It lined up and it laid the way it was supposed to. So even though it feels like a waste of flock, it saves you stress in the end. And that's kind of, the way I look at it. Because yes, flock can be pricey, but that's how I look at it. And I think, in the end, it's going to work. And although it can be, feel a certain way, that's pretty much how that's going to go. So at any rate, that's where we are with that. So you guys, hopefully I answered enough questions to help you guys with this whole process of blinging and problems that you'll come across when you're working with your rhinestone designs. And again, we had a gorgeous shirt that turned out super awesome. Absolutely love how this turned out. It is absolutely beautiful. So when you go to work with your stones, the brass and the light cyan and the light cyan AB, actually it turns out super darn cute. So hopefully you like that. And if you have any questions, you guys, please feel free to reach out, say, hey, I have a question. I'm okay. I can answer your question. If I don't know the answer to your question, I'll redirect you to who I feel like knows the answer to that question, or either I'll reach out to them directly and then get back to you, because I don't know the answer to everything. But what I do like is to see you guys have a love of the bling, no matter where you get your bling from. The love of the bling is contagious, and it just fills my heart with joy to see us bring the love of bling out into the world. So please reach out again if you have any questions. Thanks for coming to hang out with us this evening. I'm about to go kill somebody for messing with my grandbaby. And then again, for this here, these sample sticks, again, I have 10 slots available. It's not an immediate ship out. I'm telling you now, because it's going to take me some time to build these, because I know how long it took me to build 3 of these. I have 3 complete duplicates of these, and this is just the basic colors. This isn't even any of the ABs. It's not any of the neons, and it's not any of the like opal isn't even in here. So I still have to finish these for the show, but meanwhile, in between, we'll work on any sets that somebody may want to pre-order. And we'll work on getting those done as well. Since we're already in the rhythm of working on them, heck, why not? Right? All right, you guys. So thank you so much for, and like I said, I'm going to come back after this. Let me go get him calmed down. And I'm going to put the link to these sticks in the description so that you can grab some of these and the rings that I put them on. Because actually mine came with rings. This one came with rings in with the sticks. So you could do that yourself. You don't have to get them from me, fam, because I'm not like, it's not like that. It really isn't. So if you want to do it yourself, hey, I'll show you where to get them from, and you can go from there. So thanks so much for hanging out with us. I appreciate you being here. I'm so glad the storm didn't blow us all to kingdom come. It was amazing. I enjoyed my time with you tonight. And so again, I hope you have a great time with your bling. We're all here to help you out. So if you need us, just reach out to us, especially in our Facebook group. And whenever you do mess up or whatever the case may be, come in there and be like, y'all, guess what I did? And we can all virtually hug you and laugh with you. All right. Because we don't want you crying. All right. So thank you again for hanging out with us. And until the next time we see you, we hope you have happy blinging. We're going to get you out with sensualization. The buy-in starts back up on the 30th. Okay. So that's this week coming. So you guys have a great evening. Bye.
How would you define luxury? Your purchase of our rhinestones has put extravagance right at your fingertips. Here at the Baby's Booty, we are taking the standard of luxury and bringing it directly to you. Introducing the perfect companion to your luxe rhinestones, the Baby's Booty ice boxes. Our ice boxes are in the perfect sizes to complement your order. Each color in your purchase will be labeled and packaged in these elegant acrylic boxes, ready to display your luxury stones for everyone to see. The Baby's Booty ice box, where our bling is the finer thing.